Welcome to Football with Cheese. So it's Thanksgiving week, everyone. Make sure you come out to the Lights Out podcast tonight, link in the description, where me and Mike talk baseball, college football, and of course NFL. So we'll probably discuss the Thanksgiving games and the Black Friday game between the Bears and Eagles. So make sure you check it out. You can see it right here on the screen. But this video is going to be about the Minnesota Vikings and specifically JJ McCarthy and what the heck is going on with him. So make sure you do subscribe and hit the bell for notification. Never miss a video. I did a Bears breakdown yesterday. Make sure you check it out. I break down why the Bears are 8-3, why it could go really bad in the second half, how they're overrated. They have a negative point differential. And make sure you stay to the end of this video where I go over what the Vikings should absolutely do with their quarterback situation. So let's get into it. JJ McCarthy won a national championship at Michigan. Very good college quarterback. I liked him a lot coming out. He was the 5th quarterback taken in the 2024 draft, 10th overall. Minnesota moved up actually one spot to make sure they got him. He went behind Caleb Williams, Jane Daniels, Drake May, and Michael Penix Jr. Bo Nix went 2 picks later to the Broncos. Unbelievable quarterback class. I had McCarthy as the 4th best quarterback. I'll admit my ranking wasn't perfect, but I didn't have Caleb number 1. I had Jane Daniels 1, Caleb Williams 2, Drake May 3, and JJ McCarthy 4. And he was a tough prospect to really break down because of the system he played at Michigan. And the reason I liked him was because he had tools. He's got a big arm, underrated athleticism. He was very good in the clutch in big games and very good on third down. That's what I look for. Can he make all the throws? Is he athletic enough? Can he win big games? And how good is he on third down? And he checked all the boxes. But here's why he didn't go top 5, why he fell to the 10th pick, is because he played behind an unbelievable offensive line in a run-first team. I think there was a stat where one time in his whole career at Michigan, he threw more than 26 passes, which is crazy. Some of these quarterbacks throw 35, 40 every game. But he didn't need to because the running game was so good, and that is what Jim Harbaugh did at Michigan. We're going to pound you with the power running game. We're going to work play action, and that is how they won a national title. It worked. So the people that didn't like McCarthy as a prospect could say, well, he never had to put the team on his back, throw 40 times, throw 4 touchdowns, all of that. I get it. So that's why I liked him as a prospect, but I understand why some people didn't like him. He was a risk in that sense. Now, here's something most people don't know about JJ McCarthy. Despite being drafted last year, he is the youngest quarterback in the NFL. He tore his meniscus in the preseason last year, so he never played. And Sam Darnold was signed to be a bridge for JJ McCarthy. Sam Darnold was not supposed to be the guy. He was supposed to maybe start 5 to 7 games, and then they'll go to McCarthy when he's ready, but McCarthy gets hurt, and Sam Darnold, out of nowhere, becomes like a top 10 quarterback. Plays amazing. Now, at the end of the season, he collapsed. Sam Darnold was awful against Detroit to end the year and in the Rams in the playoffs. By the way, Vikings, great year last year, 14-4 if you count the playoffs. They just couldn't beat the Rams and Lions. They beat everybody else. Lost twice to the Lions, twice to the Rams. For some reason, Sam Darnold sucks against the Rams. His one bad game this year for the Seahawks was against the Rams. I don't know what it is, but going back to Sam Darnold, he wasn't expected to be that good. The Vikings were not expected to win 14 games. They may have overachieved a little bit, but they have a good roster. Maybe not a great roster, but they have some pieces. So they had to make a decision, and I get why they let Sam Darnold go, because you just invested a lot of draft capital, a top 10 pick on a quarterback, and he was going to be healthy to start training camp. So let Sam Darnold walk, looking like a mistake. JJ McCarthy comes out in week 1 against the Bears, and he's terrible for 3 quarters. Luckily for the Vikings, Caleb Williams just was missing open receivers. He could not put the Vikings away. So the game was still a 2-score game, I think, entering the 4th quarter. And then JJ McCarthy just went off. I don't know if the Bears went to a prevent or whatever, but JJ McCarthy has an unbelievable fourth quarter. I think he was Offensive Player of the Week, something like that, playing one good quarter. So then Vikings fans are like, okay, good. He just struggled early. He was maybe nervous or whatever, and he plays amazing. And then week 2, against the Falcons, he was awful. Now, the offensive line was really banged up in the game. If you look at the starting 5, if they're healthy, it's a very good offensive line. But they have no depth. So anyone gets hurt, and they've had a lot of offensive line injuries, it's a disaster. That's one of the reasons Sam Darnold collapsed last year. The offensive line was just awful, especially at guard. So they're playing the Falcons, who have an unbelievable pass rush, and it's just a disaster. McCarthy's running for his life. Then, apparently, he has a high ankle sprain. Now, I did not see him get hurt in that game. The last throw he made, he moved fine. So I'm not sure when he hurt his ankle. Conspiracy theorists out there will say they knew he wasn't ready and they want to give him a month off. Okay, possibly. I don't know. So Carson Wentz comes in and he hurts his shoulder. He plays through it, but eventually he just can't play anymore. He has to go on IR. I think he has shoulder surgery. And Carson Wentz isn't anything great. He's maybe an average backup and a bad starter at this point in his career. So they turn back to JJ McCarthy. So he starts at Detroit. Really tough place to play. And plays pretty well. Not perfect, but fairly efficient. Throws 2 touchdowns. And it's like, okay, they upset Detroit in Detroit. Didn't do that last year. So things are looking up again. And then ever since, against the Ravens, the Bears and Packers, been absolute disaster. And I briefly mentioned this in the Bears video. There's even a short, if you look on my channel, it's about 12 seconds long, where I talk about JJ McCarthy. He's not been accurate. He has no poise in the pocket. He's not getting a lot of help. There's no doubt about it. The offensive line has been banged up. But he's just been terrible. If you look at all the analytics, he's in the bottom 5 or the worst in just about every stat. He has no touch on the ball whatsoever. When in doubt, he just kind of slings it. And he's just not been accurate enough to do that. He threw 2 interceptions this past week against Green Bay. One really wasn't his fault. When Chris Darrisaw left the game with injury, I think he hurt his ankle, the backup just let Rashawn Gary beat him right off the snap, and Gary hits him for one of the interceptions. The other interception was terrible, just way overthrew a receiver. But for this season, McCarthy, 6 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. That's awful. Even bad quarterbacks can have stat lines, 12 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. 6 touchdowns, 10 interceptions just is really bad. And he took 5 sacks against Green Bay. Of course, Micah Parsons got 2 of those. But now, all of a sudden, JJ McCarthy's in concussion protocol. Apparently on the flight home, he had symptoms. There was a play early in the game where it looked like he may have hit his head. I think it was the first or second quarter. But no one ever checked him. Maybe it was that play, and they should have. Or maybe they're doing the same thing they did early in the season. Maybe he's going to take 2 or 3 weeks off. I don't know. Once again, I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist here. You can judge for yourself. You let me know in the comments what you think. But I get not re-signing Sam Darnold. I get it. Because if you give him a 3-year deal, then what are you going to do with JJ McCarthy? Because you just drafted him. But they should have signed a better veteran than Carson Wentz. Believe it or not, Aaron Rodgers was interested in signing with the Vikings. They were not interested at all. I'm glad he didn't. Would have hurt his legacy. Like it hurt Brett Favre's legacy. But they should have done better than Carson Wentz. They should have gotten someone that could at least start half the season or the whole season. Like they did with Darnold last year. They assumed JJ McCarthy would be ready to go. And he's not ready. And if I'm a Vikings fan, which I'm definitely not, I'm not ready to give up on him. We've seen quarterbacks really struggle their first or second year and then just break out. He has the tools. But he should not be playing right now. And if you do bench him, it could hurt his confidence, but I think you have to. But the problem is you don't have anyone behind him that can play. Just a total lost season for the Vikings. Definitely going to finish last in the division. Hey, you got a last place schedule next year. What I would do if I'm the Vikings is go out and sign a veteran quarterback. Maybe trade for Mac Jones and name them the starter and let JJ McCarthy sit as the backup. Learn from some veteran that does everything right, that works hard, puts in the film room, somebody he can learn from. That's what the Vikings need to do. Because the roster is good. There's a reason they won 14 games last year. They have a good roster. But McCarthy's not ready. And I would even sit him next year. McCarthy's just one of those quarterbacks that need to sit for 3 years. Jordan Love would not be as good as he is now if he had played right away. He needed to sit for 3 years. So, let me know in the comments, what do you think of JJ McCarthy? Do you still think he can be a franchise quarterback? There's tools there. I still think he can be, but you can't play him right now. It's an absolute disaster, especially with the offensive line injuries. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell for notification. Lights Out Podcast tonight. It's at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, right here. Link in the description. Make sure you check that out. I was talking to Mike. We might do a college football preview tomorrow for Rivalry Week, so make sure you check that out. Once again, same link in the description. If you enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up. Really helps out the channel. Share this with anyone who loves football, and I'll see you in the next one.